Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another day at MSA. We're glad to have you. And to talk today about that border crisis seems to be getting juicier and juicier. Every time we hear more and more and start looking into this stuff, it just gets more and more juicy, I'm telling you. Now, of course, before we get started, I know you want to hit the fast forward button, but like, share, and subscribe. Do us a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get these messages out. Some of these things and some of what we're going to talk about tonight, you're not going to really just hear it out there because it's kind of hidden deep in within the video logs of the world. Let's just say it that way. So what we're talking about, of course, we have a clip that we're going to play in a few minutes that's going to discuss what's currently happening. Now, you're going to hear things like over 250,000 people have already entered the United States illegally. Okay, so in December alone, that is quite a big chunk of people. On top of that, you're going to hear that we are sending over Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State, the guy that when asked questions in press conferences that have to do with the border crisis, always says, oh, I'm not going to speculate on that. You need to talk to HSSA and all the other planes, any other form of the government other than him. Let's just put it that way. They're also sending over Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, if you've watched any hearings with Alejandro Mayorkas in it, he wants to give a speech, constant speech when he's asked a yes or no question. There's been only a few times that I've ever seen the guy, when asked a question on whether he thinks there needs to be different policies put in place about the border, he actually said yes. And I think he was getting nervous because he could realize that this impeachment thing is going to get really real for him really quick. Now, in just a second, we're going to roll the clip. You're going to hear a few other things, and when the clip is over, we're going to talk about it in a little bit more depth, as we always do. And we'd love to see you back in just a minute. So hang in there. Be right back.
Jen, good morning to you. Melvin, good morning to you. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is actually in the air right now on his way to Mexico City to meet with the Mexican President Lopez Obrador. Immigration is a controversial topic of conversation across the country, and here in Washington, D.C., it's turning into a major roadblock for President Biden's agenda. The numbers are staggering. Thousands of migrants walking through Mexico heading for the United States. Border officials say they've encountered more than 250,000 migrants in December alone, more than 35,000 just over the four-day Christmas weekend. Those are numbers the White House can't ignore.
We're seeing record levels of people. More people are on the move in this hemisphere than has been the case since World War II.
To help address the flow of migrants, the president is sending Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to meet with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. But Republicans, who are holding up the president's request for more aid to Ukraine and Israel over the White House border policy, think the move is simply for show.
This is a photo op for this administration. They have no intention on putting through the types of policies that we would need, which is just simply to have the laws that we already have on the books enforced.
Even some members of the president's own party say the time to address the border crisis is now.
We must never lose our humanitarian and our compassion for people who are trying to escape horrific situations. But we have a mess, and it's why we haven't dealt with this for decades, because it is hard. But we can't put the hard aside anymore.
And we've just learned in the last few hours that later today, senators, Republican and Democrat, will meet virtually to start those conversations again about passing or potentially not passing the president's multi-billion-dollar border package. They want to meet virtually, get that dialogue started before they come back to Washington early next month.
Okay, you saw the clip. Now, you heard him talking about the 250,000 people that crossed over in December. You hear Anthony Blinken's going to go talk to the Mexican government along with Alejandro Mayorkas. I don't understand it. I really don't. It doesn't make sense. Okay? We have our own border. We really don't need Mexico's help to close up that border. We have brought on so many people. It is getting to the point of absolute ridiculousness. You have, right now, you look at New York. Okay, they're screaming, we can't take any more people. As a matter of fact, Eric Adams over there in New York has passed a new thing that if any of these caravans start showing up and they haven't given New York 36 hours notice, he's going to impound the vehicle, he's going to put charges against the driver, he's going to fine the companies, and they're going to keep the vehicles. Now, do any of you remember Eric Adams' position a while ago? Oh, it's wonderful. We need more people to come flow into this country. It's a crime that if we close the borders off. And now he's screaming, no more, please, no more. Don't bring us any more. But that's in New York. That has nothing to do with Texas. Now, if you don't know what's going on in Texas, Texas passed laws that if you come over illegally, you're going to get arrested. Here's even better, because on TikTok, the cartels were actually putting ads on TikTok. How this is legal, I don't know, but they're putting ads on TikTok to help get immigrants across the border, to help drive them along. And people in Texas would get paid for that. So if you get caught doing that now, it's an automatic minimum 10 years in jail. 10 years. Big deal, right? Well, that's what you get if you smuggle illegal aliens, okay? Now, if you get caught harboring illegal aliens, you only get 5 years in prison. Now, mind you, that's the minimum sentence. I don't know why they're not equal, but again, I'm sure as this keeps going on, we'll find out and we'll let you know as well. And if not, hit the comments, let us know if you know why. Now, as you saw in the title, they're wanting to take these immigrants and they're wanting to make them soldiers. And I'm not making that up. That's not a blast headline to get someone to watch this video. That's a real thing. So we've got another clip. We've got Dick Durbin, who's head of many committees, and he's going to talk about this very thing. So please, hang in there, watch this video, and in just a couple minutes, we'll be right back, and we're going to finish this up. And we hope you enjoy it, because to me, it's just amazing to see this. So anyway, see you in a minute.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there is also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
Okay, there was the second clip. Now, we're going to analyze this a little bit, but let's start with the very last comment that he made there. Last comment he made there is there are people from foreign countries that want to risk their lives to serve this country. Now, I really don't think anybody that's crossing over the border is like, hey, you know what? When we get there, hopefully I can join the American military and I can go out and die for that country. No, I don't think that's what it is. Here's the things that you're not hearing about this. Now, Dick Durbin's already had other meetings and hearings where we've had some very high official military personnel in there, and they were talking about recruitment numbers, and it is true, they are low. I personally have had a conversation with the gentleman that helps. He's one of the very higher ups in the Marine Corps, and they are barely able to make their numbers. And another reason that you're not hearing is there's a lot of people out there, Generation Z, number one, not as hip to military as other generations have been, but on top of it, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to serve under Biden. They don't believe that he is actually for this country. They feel that he's not really in it to win it, is what I hear a lot of. These are kids that don't really dive as deep into politics as a lot of us do, but they just don't feel that this president really stands behind this country the way that they have seen other presidents do. And that's just not Trump. You're talking about other presidents as well. Now, getting back into this, okay, we have people that are here in this country. What you may or may not know or partially understand about what you don't get to hear. Now, currently under Joe Biden, we've had 10 million people come into this country, over 10 million people, okay, come into this country. And now they're undocumented. See, we got to take the word illegal out because that's how they got here. They crossed over the border illegally, but they got this app or they saw a person and now they're undocumented here in this country. That's 10 million in 3 years. What you don't hear is the 11 million that were already here prior to that. Okay? So that would make 21 million undocumented people in this country. Now, one of the things that Durpin was talking about with the military personnel was the fact that we have 780,000 DORCAs. And what a DORCA is actually a child that's come over from a foreign country, mainly Mexico, and they've come over illegally and they want to obtain U.S. citizen status. So they come in here and they get their same paperwork, undocumented, and they become a DORCA, and they're protected under that. And he's saying there's 780,000 of these. And so far, I've only been able to find 580,000. I think he was off by a couple 100,000. But when he was talking to the military personnel, this was in another thing I was paying attention to, he was letting them know that they all want to join into the military. They're all looking for it. There's a vast majority of them that want to join into the military. But they've been here. We don't ever hear of this. We never hear of this. That we've had this huge wave of people that are here from a foreign country that grew up here in the United States that really want to fight into the military. Or I would think there would be some politicians that would have stepped forward prior to now to try to make that happen. Now, the other part that really is getting to me about this whole segment, just besides the fact that we're looking at bringing in illegal immigrants into here, making them undocumented, and then letting them join our military if they pass the background check, if they say they are who they are, okay, they're going to be in our military. I have a hard time with that. I really do. I don't think a lot of people wanted to come from foreign countries that don't understand what the American spirit, dream, and values are all about and want to just show up, join our military, go get yelled at by a drill sergeant, run around and learn how to use weapons and things of that nature, and then go fight for us in a war. What are they fighting for? See, it was proven back in the old days, and we're talking way back into Roman eras, that one person defending their land could defeat 10 soldiers in the heart, in the spirit. Maybe not physically able to do that, but that was the metaphor. Now you have people that are coming here from foreign countries that we're going to turn into soldiers, and they're going to have the backbone and vigor to want to defend this country for what? They don't know anything about this country. They just know they showed up here, and now all of a sudden they get a chance to stay here, and if they join our military, that could be their ticket. But where's that American value? How are we even getting a chance to show these people the American values? And I'm not talking about just bad apples. Bad apples come on every tree. And I'm very aware of that. So are a lot of you. And we can all sit around and talk about terrorism and all that other nasty stuff. But let's just talk about people that are of the good that come here. And we let them join our military. What are they fighting for? That's my biggest question. That's why I don't see some of this working, because they don't understand what that American value is. And they could get pretty bitter and pretty sour because some of the wars, many veterans that I've talked to, like when we're in Iraq, they couldn't open fire in certain areas when they were being fired upon because they would be put up on charges. And yet, other areas, they could do just that. So, it's kind of this is a tough one. This is really a tough one. So I need you to do us a favor. Comment. Please comment. This one is really striking at the fence hard. You know, I'm not into having all these people cross over illegally. I'm not all about it. I'm not racist at all. But I am not about people just walking into this country. There are too many things that are going on. Our government's divided, and to be able to sustain what may come from all of just letting all these people in, let alone let them join our military, I don't see a good thing coming out of all this right now. So do us a favor, put it in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. We really need you to share, help get these stories out there, help people, help us understand where we're going with all of this. You know, we got a lot more things to talk about when it comes to this whole border crisis thing. And I'm sorry, I'm going to stop calling it a border crisis. It wasn't a crisis, okay? President Trump got $5 billion to go put up a big giant fence, and Biden said no more fences, although he used $500,000 of American taxpayer money to put the fence up around his place in Delaware. So I guess fences work, Joe. And recently he's having a bunker built and all that stuff in the house. It's just crazy what his mindset is on his own security, but not for our border security that our Constitution says that he has to uphold. So anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox. We love having you here, and whether it be day, night, doesn't matter. Thank you for joining us. We love all of you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Again, like, share, and subscribe. We need to grow so we can keep coming back and seeing you more and more. And do us a favor. Take care. See you next time.